I worked the front desk at a Sydney hotel for 3 years. An American guest once demanded a full refund because I said, "No worries," when he asked for extra towels. He thought I was being sarcastic. I wasn't. I was Australian. He explained that in America, "No worries" means you're annoyed but pretending not to be. Like when someone bumps your car and you say, "No worries," through gritted teeth. I told him here it just means, "You're welcome." He said, "Then why not say you're welcome?" I said, "We do. This is how." He wrote corporate an email about my passive-aggressive tone. The subject line was urgent, staff hostility issue. A woman asked where the bathroom was. I said, "Just down the hall, no worries." She stopped. "What do you mean no worries? Why would there be worries?" I blinked. "It's just a phrase." She leaned closer. "Is the bathroom broken? Is that why you're saying not to worry?" I promised the bathroom worked fine. She checked it for 15 minutes, came back, said everything seemed normal, then asked why I'd made it sound suspicious. Another guest asked if we had Wi-Fi. I said, "Yeah, no worries, passwords on your key card." He stared at his key card for 5 minutes, came back down. "There's no password about worries on here." I realized my mistake too late. Australians say, "No worries," the way Americans say, "uh-huh." It's verbal punctuation. But Americans hear it as loaded commentary, like we're dismissing their concerns or warning them about problems. They analyze it. They decode it. They find meaning we never put there. Our cafe had a regular American who ordered a flat white every morning. One day he asked for oat milk instead of regular. I said, "No worries, mate." He froze. "Wait, is oat milk extra?" I told him no, same price. He squinted. "Then why'd you say no worries?" I explained it just meant okay. He looked unconvinced. "You said it like there was gonna be a problem." I promised there wasn't. He took his coffee, sat down, drank half, came back. "This tastes normal. You sure you used oat milk?" I showed him the carton. He nodded slowly. "Okay. I just thought when you said no worries, maybe you forgot or something." He came in the next day, ordered the same thing, and when I said, "No worries," he interrupted. "Actually, could you just say okay instead? The worries thing stresses me out." I worked at a Brisbane bookstore. An American woman asked if we had a book in stock. I checked the system. We did. I said, "Yep, got 2 copies, no worries." She frowned. "Why would I worry about 2 copies?" I tried to clarify that I just meant no problem. She cut me off. "I only need 1 copy. Is there something wrong with the other one?" I assured her both copies were fine. She picked the one from the back. "Just in case," she whispered. She bought it, then returned an hour later. "I need to exchange this." I asked what was wrong. "You made it sound like there was an issue with the inventory." I kept thinking about it. "I can't enjoy the book now." I offered a refund instead. She took it, then asked, "That's okay, right?" "No worries." I paused. She leaned in. "See? It sounds weird when you think about it." A taxi driver told me about an American couple he picked up from the airport. They asked if he took credit cards. He said, "No worries, got the machine right here." The husband and wife exchanged looks. The wife whispered, "Why would we worry?" The husband asked the driver, "Is there a problem with credit cards in Australia?" The driver said no, it's just a phrase means yes. The husband wasn't satisfied. "But you said no worries. That implies worries exist." The driver tried explaining it's like saying sure or no problem. The wife jumped in. "But there's no problem, right? That's a double negative. You're saying don't worry about problems that don't exist. That's how you make people worry." They rode in silence for 10 minutes. Finally the husband spoke. "We'd like to pay cash. Just to be safe." A Gold Coast restaurant server told me about an American family who asked if they could sit outside. She said, "Absolutely, no worries, follow me." The mother stopped. Is it going to rain? Should we worry about the weather? The server checked the sky, clear blue, not a cloud. She promised the weather was perfect. The father said, then why mention worries? They sat outside but kept glancing at the sky. Every few minutes the mother asked if they should move inside. The server brought menus and said, today's specials are on the board, no worries. The teenage daughter looked up. Why does she keep saying that? They ordered cautiously, asking about every ingredient. When the food arrived, the server said, careful, plates are hot, but no worries, just let them cool a minute. The father put his fork down. That's contradictory. You're warning us about hot plates but telling us not to worry. Which is it? The server gave up trying to explain. They ate in tense silence, left a tip with a note. Food excellent. Communication confusing. My friend managed a Melbourne electronics store. An American asked if they could return an iPad within 30 days. My friend said, absolutely, no worries at all, just keep your receipt. The guy stared at the iPad box. What could go wrong with it? My friend said nothing, the return policy was just standard. The American opened the box right there in the store, turned the iPad on, tested every function. Spent 40 minutes in the corner tapping the screen, checking the cameras, playing videos. My friend asked if everything was okay. The guy said, you told me not to worry, so I'm making sure there's nothing to worry about. He bought it, then came back 6 hours later with a list. He'd written down every feature that worked correctly. See? No problems. So why'd you mention worries? My friend said it was just an expression. The guy folded his list carefully. Words mean things. You should say what you mean. He left a 3-star review. Staff creates anxiety around products. iPad works fine though. A Perth gym employee told me this story. An American signed up for a membership, asked about cancellation policies. The employee said, you can cancel anytime with 30 days notice, no worries. The American stopped filling out the form. Why would I need to cancel? Is something wrong with this gym? The employee promised the gym was great. It's just policy to explain cancellation. The American looked around suspiciously. Are you shutting down soon? Is that why you're bringing up cancellation? The employee said they'd been open 12 years. The American finished the form but came back the next day. I didn't sleep. The no worries thing kept bothering me. What do other people worry about here? The employee tried listing. Nothing, people love it, 5-star reviews. The American pulled out his phone. The reviews mention equipment breaking sometimes. The employee admitted sure, occasionally something needs repair, like anywhere. The American nodded grimly. That's the worry. You should have been specific. I worked at a Sydney pharmacy. An American asked if we had a specific antihistamine brand. I checked, we had it. I said, yep, right here, no worries. She picked up the box, examined it closely. Is this the real version? Not generic. I confirmed it was name brand. She read the label carefully. You said no worries. Does that mean there are usually worries with this medication? I explained it's just how Australians talk. She wasn't buying it. My doctor told me to be careful about pharmacy substitutions. When you said no worries, I thought maybe you were warning me. I showed her the label again. Exact brand her doctor prescribed. She bought it, then asked, if I have a reaction, that's not normal, right? That would be something to worry about. I said yes, obviously see a doctor if she had a reaction. She looked betrayed. So there are things to worry about. You said no worries. I tried to clarify, I meant no worries about us having it in stock. She walked out shaking her head. You guys really need a clearer phrase. An Adelaide car rental worker shared this gem. An American asked if they needed international insurance. The worker said, your US license is fine here, no worries, but insurance is recommended. The American's face went pale. Why would I worry about my license if it's fine? The worker clarified she just meant he was legally allowed to drive. He wasn't satisfied. But you brought up worries right after mentioning my license. Is there something about American licenses you're not telling me? She promised there wasn't. He demanded to see the legal statute. She printed the Transportation Authority guidelines. He read them twice. This says nothing about worries. She explained again, it's just an Australian phrase meaning everything's okay. He rented the car but called an hour later from a parking lot. I've been thinking about what you said. If my license is legally fine, and you told me not to worry, that means other people do worry about American licenses here. What do they know that I don't? She transferred him to her manager. Her manager said, "Mate, you're overthinking this, no worries." The American hung up and left a complaint online about cryptic warnings disguised as reassurance. A Cairns diving instructor told me about an American couple on a Great Barrier Reef tour. During the safety briefing, he said, "Stay with your buddy, don't touch the coral, and no worries, we'll be right there with you." The wife raised her hand. "What should we be worried about?" The instructor said nothing, it's one of the safest dives in the world. The husband said, "You just told us not to worry, which means there's something that could cause worry." The instructor tried to move on, but they wouldn't let it go. "Is it sharks? Jellyfish? Currents?" He explained they check conditions daily, everything was perfect today. The wife said, "Then stop saying no worries. It's making us worried." They did the dive but surfaced every 3 minutes to check if the instructor was still there. Afterward, the husband asked, "That went fine, right? No worries." The instructor said, "See, now you're getting it." The husband shook his head. "No, I'm being sarcastic. That phrase is terrible. My sister worked at a Melbourne bank. An American opened an account, asked about fees. She said, 'No monthly fees on this account, no worries.' He studied the pamphlet. 'What are the hidden fees?' She promised there weren't any. He didn't believe her. 'You said no worries about monthly fees specifically. That means there are other fees to worry about.' She listed transaction fees, international transfer fees, overdraft fees, all standard. He took note. 'So there are fees. You lied.' She said no, she'd specified no monthly fees. He pointed at her. 'But you said no worries. That's a blanket statement. You can't say no worries then list 6 types of fees.' She tried to clarify she meant no worries about that specific type of fee. He closed the account before making a single deposit. Told her the phrase, 'no worries,' was false advertising. The best one happened at a Darwin tour company. An American couple booked a Crocodile cruise. Day of the tour, they checked in. The guide said, 'Life jackets are under your seats, no worries, we've never had an incident.' The wife grabbed her husband's arm. 'Why'd he say no worries about incidents?' The husband raised his hand. 'Excuse me, have other people worried about incidents?' The guide assured them the tour was completely safe. He was just being thorough. The wife whispered loudly, 'He said no worries about something that would definitely be worrying.' They almost didn't board. The husband finally agreed but spent the whole tour in his life jacket, gripping the rails. Every time the guide pointed out a crocodile, he'd add context. 'That's a big male, probably 4 meters, no worries, we're at a safe distance.' The wife would mutter, 'He keeps saying it.' Near the end, the guide asked if everyone had fun. The husband said, 'The crocodiles were amazing but your constant warnings were unsettling.' The guide looked confused. 'Warnings?' The wife said, 'The no worries thing. You said it maybe 15 times. We worried the whole time.' Here's what Americans don't get. No worries isn't about worries. It's about ease. It means the task is effortless, the favor is granted, the question is answered. We're not telling you not to worry. We're telling you we're not worried. It's our way of saying your request didn't burden us. But Americans hear dismissal or hidden warnings. They think we're either being passive-aggressive or cryptically cautious. They want clear, direct language. You're welcome. No problem. All set. They want confirmation, not reassurance about worries they didn't have until we mention them. Next time, when Americans discover yeah, nah, and nah, yeah mean opposite things, that's when they truly break.